I really hate the TikTokification of hobbies where every channel I watch on YouTube, no matter the niche, the backgrounds are just filled with the topic of that channel. I'm a gaming channel, and sometimes I'm like, man, should I really have this wall like right here just filled with games just to show off like, yeah, I'm a real gamer. And I hate that though, and I don't want to do that. I don't know. I don't not only do I think it's just like kind of like cringe and annoying, but I think it makes it intimidating for people who want to get into any hobby. I have all these like 4K movies, for example. My walls aren't filled with them, but like when I watch a channel for 4K movies, their entire background of their space is filled with movies. Same thing with books. Same thing for video games. Everybody's seen the video game channel where just the background filled with games, and it seems like everybody keeps doing that. And retro gaming is no different. And I think that just not I think that has another side effect, and it just makes something as simple as retro gaming seem so complicated and intimidating to people when it really, really isn't. It's just another label and just another thing that people want to identify themselves as is I'm not a gamer, I'm a retro gamer. And I just think that's overcomplicating everything. And I'm building my own retro gaming little setup right here. It's nothing fancy right now, and I want to just show a little update of how like of where it is right now. It's gonna grow over time. I have all this stuff that I already have from all over the years, and I just want to have it all set up in this one space. But I'm in no rush to do it. I don't need to have 100 consoles all set up at once just for the sake of YouTube and content. Like I can't play everything all the time. So I'm going slow because like I'm just playing games and enjoying them. And yeah, they happen to be retro right now. I mean, the setup really all started with the TV and the treadmill. These were in our guest bedroom, but we had to move them because that has become one of the kids' bedrooms. So we needed a place to do this because me and my wife we treadmill every day and don't want to give that up. This is just kind of like the space where it really feels because we have a fire stick on the TV because treadmill and watch YouTube or a show or something like that. And then, like right when we did this, coincidentally, the analog 3D came out, which was pushed back multiple times. So it really was just coincidental, like that aligned with this move. And I got the analog 3D. I'm like, oh, I got a perfect place for it. These cubes here, this cube shelf, this was like over there, uh, on the other side of the wall. It's not the proper furniture for like a gaming setup, but it works. And the analog 3D is small, so it's like this little cube, like whatever. Like I'm gonna hook it up to this TV and I'm gonna play some games. Yeah, and that's easy to say with the analog 3D because it has an HDMI cord. It's properly like upscaling that. So, if you're trying to get into retro gaming, like I'm not here saying like, oh, you need to get the analog 3D because that's like a modern thing. That's like a $250 investment to be able to play N64 games. But you could play N64 game on such a TV. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. When you look at retro gaming online and you look at like N64 for example, people champion that like you have to play like on a CRT TV or nothing else is good enough. And now you see like the price of CRT TVs are skyrocketing. But the thing is, you don't need to play on a CRT TV. Yeah, I'm kind of getting the experience of the analog 3D, right? It has the CRT filters, and that completely meets my needs. That's cool and all, but I want to show something I've added to this setup lately, and I've been playing like so between the analog 3D and the new console I've set up the past 2 months. I've been playing retro games, and so I'll give you a second to leave down the comments. What do you think? What do you think the new console I set up is? All right, ready? Let's do this. Drum roll, please. A Lego NES. No, I'm just kidding. That's always been there. The Nintendo Wii. Hooked up Nintendo Wii. Probably no surprise for people who think I'm a Nintendo fanboy, but I want to add here. I actually have a GameCube, but the Wii. So as you can see, there's no dedicated seating. So I've been playing Cruisin' USA. That's in the analog 3D right now. And what I love about Cruisin' USA is they're like a minute 30 races. It's very like super casual. Like it's not like my main game I'm playing, but I can hop in and do a minute 30 race. Usually after I finish up one of these videos, especially if I have to like make some kind of edit or something, I have to republish it, maybe take like 20 minutes. I just roll this chair over that I'm sitting in, slide it over there, get real close to the TV, I play some retro games, and Cruising USA is just this perfect little thing to just kind of pick up and play. And so I was kind of thinking like, oh man, it'd be a lot of fun because there's no dedicated seating right here. It's just to play some Wii Sports, like Wii Bowling. Like I want to do a game of bowling, but I didn't have the Wii set up. It was just upstairs, just kind of like on like a. I have a TV in a room on the second floor, and I had it hooked up one time at one point, and like after like I rearranged like the room, I had it unplugged. I never plugged it back in. And it's like, well, the Wii's also a GameCube, right? It's like not that complicated. It's just as good as a GameCube. So it's a 2 for 1. And these cubes are really small, so it's like I can hook that up there, and I have access to Wii and GameCube along with N64. Um, but so and this TV is a 2019 TV. It's nothing special. It's a pretty cheap LCD TV. Probably paid between $100 and $200 for it. I got it on Black Friday in like 2019, and there's just AV components in the back. The red, green, blue for video, and the red and white for audio. And like the Wii just has the 3 component cables, so the AV cables, so yellow, red, and white, and I just plug the yellow into the green, and it works. It's not like upscaled properly. It's nothing fancy. Like, yeah, I have the TV in game mode or for the components, so that way there's no like, not bad input lag. It's not scaled properly or anything like that. I don't have it into like a scaler or anything. So it's a little blurry, sure, but you know what? It's playable. On my Wii, I have a Mario Brothers. I had it on virtual consoles from back in the day, just Super Mario Brothers on the NES. And so like I hooked it up, and I just wanted to test it out to see like if it's playable, because the next thing I want to get for this is a RetroTink 4K. Now, you don't need to get an upscaler to enjoy retro gaming. Like I said, like I'm using this stuff right now. No upscaler or anything. And if you're just like getting into retro gaming, it's like you don't have to like be getting like complete in-box Game Boy games or N64 games. You don't need to get a CRT TV. You don't need to get an upscaler. Like this is good enough. I have access right here, what you're looking at, to all GameCube, all Wii, all N64. Granted, like I don't like have every single game right now, but if you swap that out with a modded Wii and get yourself a Summer Cart or an EverDrive right there, you have access to all N64, Wii, and GameCube. But yeah, like that modded stuff, like the EverDrive or a modded Wii, that's the next level up. You don't have to do that. You can go on eBay, just buy a Wii, hook it up to your TV, and be good. Another thing, even like, is just like that with the intimidation factors, like GameCube, like the next level would be like, yeah, just at least put the screen in 4:3. You'll see people online talk about it all the time. If someone posts a picture online, like on Reddit, of GameCube, and it's in 16:9 or N64, it's stretched out, like people destroy these people. I just think that's super toxic. Like, I mean, I haven't destroyed. I've said to my friends, like, just send like, hey, you know what? Like, here's a tip. Like, try putting in 4:3. That's cool. But like, if someone wants to play some retro games and just hook up their console to a TV and it's stretched, and if they're having fun, then that's good enough. Like that's all that matters with retro gaming, is it's good enough. It's gaming is just entertainment, right? And if you are entertained and having fun with an old retro console hooked into just the AV, just straight into the TV, and even if you don't even know when to change it to 4:3, and you're playing 16:9 and you're having fun, and it's enjoyable, that's good. That's retro gaming. Like that's it. That's it. You don't need walls filled of like cartridges or old games. You don't need to have them in like your GameCube games and like plastic sleeves or anything like that. You don't need upscalers. You don't need CRT TVs. Like that's retro gaming right there. Like I said, I wanted to see, like I do intend to get a RetroTink 4K because I want to add, as time goes on, my PS3, my Xbox 360, my PS2, and even the Nintendo Switch. And I want this stuff to be upscaled to 4K for some of the older consoles like the PS2 and even like the Wii and GameCube. I want to put those CRT filters on it because I'm having so much fun with the CRT filters with the analog 3D. And when it comes to Cruising USA and Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, which I played earlier as well. When I put those into clean mode and take off the CRT filters, I honestly feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like I'm getting motion sickness. Like the CRT filters do work wonders with older games, but you don't need to start there. It's not like this something you have to go all in, or you're not going to be able to enjoy retro games without, you know, advanced equipment. Like you can just start with a Wii plugged into your TV and even play widescreen. Who cares? If you're having fun, cool. And eventually you can just like progress your way to understanding like what the RetroTink 4K is and like why it's useful. Um and yeah, like again those CRT filters, like even with just like DVDs and stuff, like my Dragon Ball Z DVDs, I think there's a lot of value with that. Even just the CRT filters for me personally, for the enjoyment I'm gonna get out of just that the vibe it provides. But before I make such a big purchase, because like with tax and everything, that's gonna be like $800. It was important to me that I hooked up a console to this setup, so that way I can get a little bit of and use it a little bit before I put in that purchase and I get it and I hook it up. Because if I just get it, hook it up and everything, and just like kind of trust what I hear online of how it is, I want that before and after experience, right? So I hooked up the Wii and I played some Super Mario Brothers because I had that on the virtual console. And it worked perfectly fine. I thought I was just gonna play like a level or two, but I ended up just sitting there and just kept playing until I lost. And like the way I like to play Super Mario Brothers is like no level skips. Like I don't want to do the warp pipe or anything. Like I've never beat the game, but the way I want to beat the game is just to play it just vanilla. I don't want to do any level skips. I want to play every single level. And yeah, but I failed at 5-4, but it was good enough. Like this setup was good enough, and I had fun. And then I was like, okay, well, I gotta play a GameCube game, obviously, because once I get that RetroTink, I don't know, Metroid Prime 2 or Zelda Wind Waker, those are like top on the list of what I want to do. A lot of this is spawned from I was just excited for Metroid Prime 4, but I missed playing that day one. And now that like I've kind of missed that window, it's kind of like, okay, well, yeah, I'm playing my DS also, very easy, just DS playing real cartridges. Like, yeah, I could play Metroid Prime Hunters and then Metroid Prime 2, do it proper. But I'm at the point in just my gaming hobby where it's like, ooh, if I'm gonna play GameCube games, I do kind of want to play them upscaled and with those CRT filters. And so to test stuff out, first thing I grabbed was Super Smash Brothers Melee. Put it in, and like I had all the characters unlocked from my memory card from like childhood. And I just played Link. He's default, not like an unlockable character or anything, but just played around a classic mode as Link, and it was fun. Another thing that I'm like dual like testing is I have a Wavebird controller. Okay, I have three Wavebirds, but one adapter. The receiver. Two of them have gotten lost, and so a while ago, like we had our actual GameCube hooked up to a TV in our living room, and that one was using an HDMI converter. The bigger the TV, the more blurry it looks. So I am very interested to see what the RetroTink Force 4K, the upscaling looks on the smaller TV. But I know like that purchase, like when I use it, if I move it to like the living room or something, or one of our bigger TVs, it'll be like future proofed in that regard. Um, and I remember playing GameCube. This was a few years ago. Me and my wife were playing GameCube, and it was on our wedding registry. We put like a $15 GameCube controller, an off-brand third-party one, and obviously it was probably going to be like crap. But I do have a tolerance for like crappy controllers. Remember, I grew up with like Mad Cats and all of that. Uh, but it was really bad. It's a really bad controller. So like, we have that like in our house too. And those were like our two working GameCube controllers. And like we were playing like Mario Party 4, and she's good at Mario Party, right? Like she's good at games. But like, and every time I won, it just didn't feel good. Like you don't want to win while someone like is like super handicapped. Like that controller was so bad. I'm like, this is not fair. So a while ago, I saw these like Nixie Warrior wireless controllers. I haven't really used it too much. It can hook up to like Switch and PC. I hooked up to my PC before and just tinkered and tested it on Dolphin. I'm like, oh, it's a kind of cool controller. It's a little clicky, but I haven't really used it on GameCube or anything like that. And so I was like, okay, well, this is another thing I can test while I wait for like, you know, me to decide when to order the RetroTink 4K, which I might do like in a month or so, kind of give it like a month of just like, using this setup so that way I can really experience the jump. But and so like, I'm also kind of testing this controller as well. But the point of this is like this, or even like the 8-bit Do like 3D controller, like third party controllers are not like Mad Cats anymore. So it's like if you have a retro console and you want like a new controller, there are like tons of good options out there, and also like receiver adapters. It's very easy to get into like some of this stuff too. And they're really good like third party controllers, and it's really easy to get into, and it's just like, it doesn't have to be anything complicated. If you look for like a Wavebird with the receiver, it's super expensive. But like, this controller I'm perfectly fine with, honestly, right now. It's perfectly working for me right now. But yeah, so I played one round of Super Smash Brothers Melee as Link, and I realized, I'm like, okay, so like I have all the characters unlocked, like that's no fun for me, so I'm gonna delete the save. And but then that's like a whole thing. Like I'm not really not trying to get into Smash Bros. Melee at this time. Like that'd be a lot of time. Like the way I want to play is delete my save, unlock all the characters, and do like classic mode and adventure mode with every character. At least those. There's also the all-star mode, but I don't remember that at all. So maybe that mode too, with every character. So that'd be a big project, but that's gonna be so much fun to get into that. And so I'm kind of thinking, I was looking at my shelf of GameCube games. I was like, you know what? I want to play a game because I know I'm getting the RetroTink, right? And so I don't want to play something like Wind Waker or like Metroid Prime. Like I'm still playing other big games right now. And I'm not trying to like Cruising USA is perfect because like that's not my main game. It's like this like tiny little game. So I want like a tiny little game that I can play, but also something I'm not going to care so much about. That's like, oh, I missed out on having a better experience with this. And so I started playing Super Monkey Ball, the first one. I think the second one's better, but the first one I'm super nostalgic for. And it's the perfect little thing, like I don't know. You play beginner mode. You do 10 stages, and then they roll credits. It's just like a fun little party game. This deserves its own video, so probably will make that about Super Monkey Ball. But like I'm playing Super Monkey Ball. I'm retro gaming with the Wii hooked up into a crappy little modern TV through the AV cables. Nothing fancy, and I'm retro gaming. These two games, played a little bit of those. I played Mario 64 recently, got all 120 stars, beat Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, played Cruising USA on the analog 3D. Of course, maybe that's cheating, but you can get an N64 and hook it up the same way that I'm doing with the Wii. Like, it doesn't need to be complicated. And I've been talking all about like playing physical games right now. I mentioned like the modded Wii, that's an option. You see people talk about retro games. They also talk about like emulation, and all that. And like I have an Ambernick handheld and all that. But again, with the whole like walls full of games, like they might not have walls full of games, but like when you look at people who are into like emulation, you see that they have like just drawers and like desks full of these emulation handhelds. And it just reminds me so much of like PC gaming and people who build PCs, where it's like the actual hobby is setting up and building this handheld device or this emulation like setup that you have access to every single game ever made basically at the palm of your hand, but they don't actually play the games because there's just like so much like that, because then they just want to move on and build the next device, and like all they're doing is tinkering. And I think that could be another thing when like if someone's like looking into like getting into retro gaming, you can see that's like there's like the other side. There's like the collector side who's all about like the physical setup. There's like the side who is all about original hardware and like setting it up and preserving that original feel. And then you have the emulation side where people are like, I'm not paying for games. I'm gonna just like do everything for free. I'm gonna set up this handheld, and it's like that's cool. Like I've been through that rodeo. I know how to do all that stuff, but it's like tinkering and all that. Like that's not for everybody, especially for a beginner who wants to like get into it. Like that's not always the easiest thing to do. And I know even with my like Ambernick, I have my Doomsday hard drive. I didn't put every single like game I have on that hard drive onto my handheld device. and I'm looking through and I'm like, oh man, I forgot to put a game on the last time I was in it. I set it up. And I'm just like not never in a tinkering mode to do that. Like that's on the to-do list. Like there's like one game I want to add to it. And I know it's on my hard drive. I want to put it onto the handheld. But like the whole process of doing that, like I would rather like make a video or play a game, and just like 99% of the time I don't want to tinker and set stuff up. And so someone who's a completely beginner and wanting to get into retro gaming, and they see all that stuff about like emulation and all that, it's probably super intimidating. And you see someone like people who have like 20 consoles hooked up all at the same time, CRT TVs, this huge setup. It just seems super intimidating, but it's like it doesn't need to be. Like retro gaming, it's just playing an old game. It's just entertainment. Like it's not this huge thing that needs to be labeled. Um and it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. I mean, you could say that about just like gaming in general, right? Like retro gaming is this like extra label that's like cool and hardcore, but it doesn't need to be. Like you could play this an N64 widescreen, which the real gamers are gonna just say that's like you know they're gonna call you out and just like gatekeep you. It doesn't need to be complicated. If you're having fun playing N64 16 by 9, like that's cool. If there's a little bit of like latency or input lag, but like you're able to play it and get entertainment and enjoyment out of it, that's cool. Like that's gaming, that's fun, like that's whatever. If that makes you want to go buy a new game like Monkey Ball and go in and play it, then whatever. Like I said, I've been playing for like 2 months of N64 and now like GameCube on the Wii. I'm retro gaming, right? Like even if I do one session of Super Smash Bros. Melee and play classic mode, which I'm gonna do again because I need to do another session of comparing. I only played with this right now. I gotta go bring my Wavebird down. I only had so much. This I already had down here, because I hooked it up on the PC, and I didn't want to take another trip to get my Wavebird. So and there's no batteries in it, right? So I have to go get batteries and put batteries in it. So I just used that controller. And whatever, I played one round of it. One round's enough. That's game. I played one round of Super Mario Brothers. Like that's enough. Like, the session duration and the amount of time you played the game doesn't dictate like how real the experience is. And since I'm only like I don't have to do it full time, I'm modern gaming too. I'm doing other stuff too. But over the course of 2 months, like I've gotten these like multiple experiences in. And yeah, I just can't wait to continue to add more to this. Really, I'm gonna continue to play GameCube, and since the Wii's there, I may as well play some Wii too. Um, before I was like picked up like Monkey Ball, part of me is like, oh man, like you know, Mario 64 was a great game to just micro game and play a little bit of. And I played Sonic Rush earlier on the DS, which was like my sixth choice. My number one choice I wanted to play was New Super Mario Brothers, and I'm like, duh, I can play New Super Mario Brothers Wii now, right there. I don't think that's a game I even need to wait for the 4K upscaler. I might for that, but yeah, Monkey Ball I'll play first, and yeah, maybe do some Wii Sports here. Bring that just down, play a little bowling. That could be fun, and then maybe New Super Mario Brothers Wii. I don't know if I want to main that game. I'm kind of trying to wrap up my current main game, and also like some of my handheld ones that aren't like Cruis'n USA. Even though I've probably been playing Cruis'n USA the most because of how accessible it is and how easy it is to just pick it up and play a minute 30 race, and the next thing you know, it's been 20 minutes. But Monkey Ball is also just super casual fun. I'm just gonna enjoy it for what it is, and that's what it is. Just enjoy. That's all it is. It doesn't need to be complicated. Retro gaming is super easy. It just is what it is. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's the point of this video. This is enough. And if that inspires you to just dig out an old console and hook it up to the TV and just try it out, just try it out. You can look up reviews. Maybe this controller is terrible or whatever. But for me, it's cool. It works. It's good enough. I think like some people are like, I had a friend I was telling like, yo, this controller is pretty awesome. They're like, no, original N64 controllers only, and that's cool too. Like I actually got a blue retro adapter for the analog 3D because in Cruis'n USA with the 8-bit DOE, there's Cruis'n USA has like a cheat, I guess a cheat code, a secret. I don't know if you can call it that, where you hold down up C, down C, and left C. and you scroll the cars, and it unlocks like 3 other cars, like a bus, a police car, and a jeep. And each one of those, if you do the race of that, you can still get the unlocks. So like half the game is like locked behind a cheat code. But that cheat code doesn't work on the 8-bit Do controller. And so I tried the a physical N64 controller, which I have a couple of those. I need to clean them up. I bought them from a used game store, and they're kind of gross. But I was just like, I'm gonna hook it up and see, and it works. I'm like, it's not a problem with the analog 3D, and it's because I'm like a software engineer and I troubleshoot. So it's like, this is bugging me. Is it the analog 3D, or it's like, is it the 8-bit Do controller? Um, and so I bought the uh a blue retro adapter because I have the NSO N64 controller, which is like I didn't I read some stuff that it could be difficult to get it synced, but I actually had no problem syncing it with this, and it worked. So it wasn't just like a wireless thing with the analog 3D, like it's actually the 8-bit Do controller. There's something wrong with it. I tweeted them, I emailed their support, they haven't responded, but there's an issue with this when pressing C button simultaneously. It's not registering. Uh, the moral of this is now that I had that, I did some races with the actual N64 NSO controller, and to be honest, I like this one more. It's more comfortable to me. Maybe it's more modern. I've been sticking with modern and stuff for a while. That I enjoyed this better, and that's good. That I've always felt like I was an original hardware type of person, but now I'm playing N64 on analog 3D and using a third party controller. I'm having the time of my life. And so it really, like, I had two of these mainly for the Mario Party scenario with my wife. So that way, if we play Mario Party again, we can be on even grounds, right? Like, whether the controller is good or not, I want us to have the same controller and it be a good enough controller and we be on an even playing field. But I've been using this for Smash Bros. And Monkey Ball, and it's perfectly fine. And I actually kind of like it, and maybe it might feel more comfortable than like I picked up my Wavebird after I suddenly bring it down and actually like play with it also, which it'll probably be my main controller honestly, but I don't know. This was like feeling pretty good holding it, so like yeah, I don't know, just whatever you're having fun with, I guess, is the moral of that. Whether it be you go all out into the hobby and spend $800 on an upscaler, which is what I'm about to do. Whether you like to emulate and you like to tinker, or whether you just like to hook up an old ass system to improperly to a TV, even get like I don't know, the converters, like the AV to HDMI converter, which introduces latency, and there could be cheap ones that aren't that good, but if you hook it up and you're having fun, then that's what it's all about. So yeah, I don't know. Retro gaming and gaming in general does not need to be that complicated. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. I'm almost at 1,000. I don't know. By the time I release this, maybe I will be at 1,000. I don't know. But thank you guys for who watch these videos to the very end, who have subscribed. If you made it to the end of this video and you're a casual viewer who hasn't subscribed, please do consider. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun doing this. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.